boxing. Man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Woo!
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out. All right, let's get into some boxing talk. Tyson Fury said he the best heavyweight of all time. Let's talk about that in a minute. But first, Shakur Stevenson said he could see him and Tank fighting down the line. It's going to be a big fight. He says he can't see Tank in the same weight class as him for a while. Well, let's talk about that because he did call out Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson did call out Leo Santa Cruz, And from what I understand and what I heard from people behind the scenes, that fight still is going down between Leo and Tank at 130 pounds. But let's talk about what Shakur had to say about that. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And yeah, he had a lot of high praise for Tank. He said that Tank been champion before he even turned pro. He a beast. That's a hell of a fight. And I'm thinking, like, before I continue to read the article, I'm thinking, like, you know, he is coming down to 30 to fight Santa Cruz, but he does go on to say that he don't think he can make the weight. All right? He said, you got to show me that he can make 130 pounds. But what people don't know is Tank didn't use a personal trainer or nutritionist for his fight with Uricus Gamboa. He trained himself, right? And what's so ironic and ignorant about him training himself, he pulled up in a Ferrari or Lamborghini that probably was rented to the Gamboa fight, but you can rent that car or you can purchase that car, but can't purchase a nutritionist or you can't purchase a strength and conditioning coach. You know what I'm saying? That just shows you how priorities mess up. It's just like people out there and it's a pandemic going on and they're having to sell at a shoe store for Jordans and they're having to sell for this, even if you essential or non-essential. Yo, focus shouldn't be on those shoes because you think this is an isolated incident. It's not. The coronavirus, once it get colder, is going to ramp up and it's going to be the same shit. And once reality hit that the government is not going to bail people out, once this state of emergency and stay-at-home order is up and the Christmas time roll around, bills still going to be paid. You know, when they want their rent from all the way or their mortgage all the way from March, that still got to be paid. So, you know, you got to prioritize what you got going on. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm trying to pay things up so down the line, if I slip or fall, I'm good. But obviously it's a lot of, you know, Americans, especially black people that feel just like Tank. You know, their priorities fucked up. So hopefully Tank, when he approached the Leo Santa Cruz fight, he neck hurt. He actually gets a strength and conditioning coach and nutritionist to make the weight. You know, I remember Santa Cruz said he'd come up to 35 to fight Tank, and then all of a sudden when the shit hit the fan, he want Tank to come down. He making all the shots. You know, he want to fight the Staples Center. He want the weight. Leo Santa Cruz is the A side. But my whole thing is, if they saying that fight gonna be at 130, and maybe that's why Shakur called out Leo Santa Cruz, because he don't believe that fight can happen. But I heard it's gonna happen. It's gonna be on pay-per-view. And they want to do it at the Staples Center, and they trying to figure out with or without fans and how that's going to play out. But, you know, like Terrence Crawford said, and that's one of his mentors, I take them how they come. You know, it shouldn't have to wait down the line for Tank. If Tank beats Santa Cruz, and that's the fight they doing, and that's the fight they say they doing, you got to take them how they come. Real talk, straight up and down. You got to take them how they come. Point blank, period. You got to take them how they come. So you should be seeing, I want to fight the winner of Tank and Santa Cruz. Don't worry about the weight. Don't try to say, I don't think the fight going to happen at this weight or not that weight, this way. Hey, you said you wanted to fight Ryan Garcia too, you know. You and Devin had words. They both at 35, so I feel that Shakur Stevenson should take Tank as a go. Forget all this, oh, it's going to be a big fight down the line. I'm tired of that fucking talk. Either it's right here, right now, or it's not at all. You know, don't tell me what you're going to do 2 or 3 years down the road. I don't want to hear none of these fighters, and there's no disrespect because I fuck with Shakur Stevenson. But I don't want to see, you know, him get caught up in that shit where, oh, down the line, that's a big fight. Man, just worry about what you got on your plate here. You at 30, you got Burchett, who is more accomplished than Tank. You got Jamel Herring. If y'all want to do that, I know y'all close. I mean, JoJo Diaz, Tevin getting it on again. We know Santa Cruz is just a whole punk, so you wasting your breath. Tank ain't crossing the street, and Shakur ain't crossing the street. Premier Boxing Champions is in their own bubble. You know, so at the end of the day, if you and Tank fight, when this contract is signed, when it's time to negotiate, we speak on that. You called out Leo Santa Cruz, you're wasting your breath. He wouldn't even fight Gary Russell. So why would he fight somebody that's just as big and just as dangerous as Gary Russell is the question. So, you just get tired of these dudes saying, down the line, I can see us fighting. Man, Tank might not be a fighter down the line with a lot of dumb shit that he doing. So, we know Floyd ain't going to let him fight nobody that's a threat. Straight up and down. Floyd didn't sign you. He went to go scout you, never showed the money. So, it's kind of frustrating when you hear these fighters talking about, down the line, I can see us fighting. Like, we tired of that shit because it is not Shakur's fault. It's really the Errol Spencers, the Crawfords, the Wilders, the Joshuas, the Furies, the Plants, the Benavidez, the established title holders, and the established pound-for-pound fighters with the new narrative is I jump up 2 weight class or weight class to fight this guy for a moral victory. People tired of that shit. Seriously, people are tired of that shit. We only want to hear about fights that's going to happen right now. So if you ain't talking about fighting this dude right now, I don't want to hear it, bro. Give me a fight that I can see right now. I don't want to hear about a hypothetical. Hypothetical should be, what about Joe Louis, fighting Michael Spinks? Or what about Michael Moore taking on Andre Ward? Like, hypothetical should be saved for, fighters that's retired. That's what hypothetical should be. Or what if Lennox Lewis really fought Riddick Bowe on a professional level? We really doing hypotheticals about fights in boxing right now. That ain't going to happen due to politics, due to dudes being scared, due to dudes hiding behind money. So, to be honest, to kind of give my synopsis on Tank and Shakur, I would bet my money on Shakur Stevenson, winning that fight. People talk about Tank power, what Tank do, this, that, and the third. His discipline is not there. Not there. Shakur Stevenson seemed to be disciplined. It seemed to be he be in shape. He seemed to be too smart for Tank. His feet work too good for Tank. The first 3 or 4 rounds, Tank can be dangerous with his punching power. You know what I'm saying? But we know with Tank, he ain't southpaw, so it's Shakur Stevenson. So that advantage is out the window. You know what I'm saying? And he only throw 1 or 2 shots at a time. He don't know how to floor or how to keep his shots, flowing. He don't know how to throw 3, 4 shots at the time. Shoe shine to the body, rip upstairs. And we do know from the amateurs, he will quit. He will quit. He will go into a shell. So I see Shakur Stevenson, just touching him, moving, touching him, moving, touching him, moving, and then when Tank, try to close the gap, holding him, spinning out, touching him, and then once Tank, energy rate started to drop off because of his lifestyle, then taking it to him and knocking his dick in the dirt. Real talk, Shakur Stevenson is too disciplined, he too smart, his IQ good, his reflexes, defense too good, he too fast for Tank. You know what I'm saying? He might be more seasoned than Shakur right now, but really, what's the gap? Pedraza, if Shakur Stevenson able to get JoJo in the ring, if he able to get Burchett in the ring, it's over with. And he able to go in there and dominate McGill Burchett, which ain't no easy fight. Then we having another conversation on our hands. So Tank ain't even though Tank got a nice head start on both of them, on Devin and Shakur and them, he ain't far. He ain't far. So I would favor Shakur Stevenson just because he's a disciplined more fighter. He got a better style. Tank don't even know how to throw combination shots. We seen that versus getting bullet. So it's my opinion. Some people might disagree. Some people are enamored with power. Tank got so much power. Who is he knocked out? He beat Pedraza, I'll give you that. But who is he really knocked out? That kid went, 12 rounds? With Gamble until he's dropped him. So let's talk about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury says, "He the best around. No other heavyweight can knock him down." He must have forgot he got slept by Wilder a couple times. He got dropped by Steve Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? He struggled with Otto Wallin. I don't think Ali would struggle with them. But he said he too big. And that's what they said about the Klitschko brothers. They was too big. But, Lennox did kind of beat Vitaly. And that was only because that cut, Vitaly was bringing smoke. But that was a late replacement, and Lennox was a little bit older. And I think that was Lennox's last fight. Lennox got out the game after that one. And Vitaly, he also lost to Chris Bird or something like that with the shoulder. But at the end of the day, he did beat the Vladimir Klitschko, but it wasn't a pretty fight. It ain't like he went out there and dominated Vladimir Klitschko. He might be too big for Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Jack Johnson. You know what I'm saying? But when I look at guys like George Foreman, when I look at guys like Mike Tyson would destroy Tyson Fury. Real talk, Mike Tyson would destroy Tyson Fury. Evander Holyfield would beat Tyson Fury. Lennox Lewis would beat Tyson Fury. Riddick Bowe would beat Tyson Fury. So at the end of the day, I mean, David Tua would beat Tyson Fury probably. His defense ain't as good as Lennox Lewis' defense was. You know what I'm saying? He don't pack the punch Lennox do. He don't dance. He got move pretty good and feint pretty good. But it's a lot of heavyweights. There's some heavyweights that would Ikebachi probably would destroy Tyson Fury, especially Mike Tyson. You know, the jab to the solar plex. Man, he would have broke Tyson Fury ass in half. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He could be like, he could beat some of the smaller guys. Even, Ken Norton and Ernie Shavers would have gave some issues. Larry Holmes would have destroyed him. Jab too good. Larry Holmes knew how to beat you with finesse. He ain't had shit for Larry. That's a lot of heavyweights that have beat his ass. Tyson Fury, you supposed to feel you the best, though. When you put the work in and you coming off a big win versus Deontay Wilder, which I got to do a video about him next. So if y'all wondering if I don't drop this one first, if y'all wonder when that video going to come, yeah, I got to talk about it. But you talking about Tyson Fury, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to feel like you the best. When you on the cloud nine, you done recovered the way he done recovered. They done covered all his peds and his wild boar situation. You supposed to feel good. You supposed to feel like you the best. But beating Deontay Wilder and beating the old Vladimir Klitschko, I'm not impressed. Now, if you went out there and beat Vitaly Klitschko and stopped him, I would have been impressed. But don't forget, you beat Klitschko, but Ross Purity knocked him out. It's a few dudes that knocked him out. Samuel Peters knocked him down a few times. You know what I'm saying? He been on the canvas. You didn't even have him touch the canvas, but you the greatest. Muhammad Ali would have dispatched you. So, like I said before, man, I ain't sold. Good fighter. He supposed to feel that way. He supposed to boost his confidence up. Do I think he'll beat AJ? I hate to say it because I'm riding with AJ in that fight, but he might have too many levels to his game for AJ. Sugar Hill kind of gave him some confidence to fight on the inside and be aggressive. But then he did knock out Wilder, and I will give him credit for that one. But like I said before, his performances is too up and down. It's too erratic. He rarely put good performances together, and sometimes that's a sign of maybe maybe overlooking opponents, maybe being on some shit. You really, really never know. But like I said, it's a lot of heavyweights that'll fuck Tyson Fury up. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying that just to disrespect him. I'm just saying that because that's my opinion. You're not fighting the golden era heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? You're not fighting Mike. You're not fighting Lennox. You're not fighting Bo. You're not fighting young or old Foreman. I think Michael Moore would have gave some issues as well, too. So there's a lot of good heavyweights. Guys that never touched titles like Michael Moore. Don't forget, he was one of them dudes running from Luis Ortiz, too. Like, Luis Ortiz was signed to Matchroom, before Matchroom USA, and then he was signed to Al, and people was running from him like the plague. I'm like, damn, I feel Tyson Fury would beat him. So it ain't like he's taking all comers, though. But you know what? He's the best in the game right now. You got to give him credit. We can speculate. Hold on, dog barking. My bad, I had to restart. I wasn't restarting the video 13 minutes in. But, Tyson Fury, top dog in the game. He got everything you're looking for. He's starting to fight on the front foot better. He's starting to, fight on the inside a little bit more. So, you're supposed to feel that way. But it's a lot of heavyweights that'll whoop his ass. Straight up and down. So, but yeah, we'll see, man. Maybe AJ can get him. I'm not sure how AJ would approach that fight, but maybe Wilder will get him in the trilogy. People say, well, there's nothing I've seen from Wilder that, I know he's barking for. There's nothing I've seen from Wilder that can change my mind. So, hopefully Wilder can get back to the drawing board, but we all pretty feel that Fury going to beat him again. A lot of people feel like he's going to beat AJ. He might have to fight Dillian White. So we got to see how it really boiled down for Fury. I think he's a complete fighter right now. You know what I'm saying? And you talk about fighting long range. He can fight you in the pocket. He can fight you on the inside. He's sitting down his shots. He can box. He can be slick. He can move. And he do a lot of different things, but I just still never understood why he did not want to fight Luis King Kong Ortiz. I did not understand that. Ortiz had the whole UK shook, and they still shook at him. And they called him an old man. They talk all that shit, but still don't want to get in the ring with him. But he ain't nowhere near the best heavyweight. He ain't even in my top 10, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion on it. But we'll see. He's still writing the script. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you got business questions, inquiries, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal, inscription. Best way to donate is share the video. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We gone.